beautiful people, thank you so much for tuning into another video. It's your girl Cavell. So for all my new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. If you're watching me for the first time, do consider subscribing as well. Also hit that post notification bell so you can always be notified every time I upload a new video. And for all my returning watchers, thank you so much. You guys have made this experience really wonderful for me. I do see the growth on my channel, and I really appreciate all the comments that you guys have left so far. So continue liking, continue subscribing. I really do appreciate it, as I said before. So for today's video, actually, if you watched my last video, my Shein video, in that video I bought a hat for $5, and in that video I said I wanted to do a DIY project. So I did purchase some iron-on vinyl, so I thought that today would be a great day for us to test our hands at something new. And I also think that this would be like a great side hustle, because this, I think it's fairly easy, minimal products needed to be able to do this. So if you want to see me do this project, just keep on watching. So for the items that you will need, I purchased the Smart Iron-On, and this is generally for use with the Cricut Joy. But the thing is, the iron-on vinyl gets expensive, and I'm gonna be just testing this out for the first time, so I didn't want to go ahead and purchase like something that was like $20-something or something like that. And this particular one was just only like $8, and it comes with 3 sheets. So I figured I'll just use this. It should be able to cut on my Cricut Maker, so that's what I'm gonna use to cut the vinyl out. I also have a ruler to be able to measure on the hat to make sure I'm placing everything correctly. I have a little travel size iron to be able to iron my project on. I don't have a heat press or anything like that, but I've watched a few videos and I really don't think you need a heat press to be able to do this. So we're gonna test that theory out as well. And of course, my hat that I'm gonna be DIYing, and my computer, because I'm gonna be using the Cricut design space for my computer, and of course my Cricut Maker. Okay, so what I'm also gonna zoom in a little bit closer so that way you'll be able to see exactly what I'm gonna be doing. So next I'm gonna be working on my design. Okay, so starting out a new project in design space, I'm just gonna type out my YouTube name, and then I'm gonna search for a nice font to go with that. I'm also gonna be putting the different platforms that I have. I'm gonna put their logo below that. So Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. So you can also find me on all those socials at Kokomackaveli. So once I have the logos, I'm gonna just resize that so that way it fits perfectly onto the hat. Okay, so now that I have the logo exactly how I want it, I'm gonna press to make my design. So because it is something that's gonna be applied to a hat, you do wanna make sure that you press the mirror button, so that way it flips your design backwards. So now I just know that I need to get it to about 13, up to here, up to 13, and up to 5. So if I hit continue, it's gonna select my maker. I'm using my USB to connect that. And then I'm gonna select everyday iron-on, only because this is the Smart Iron-On, and this is supposed to be used for just the Cricut Joy. But because I really didn't want to spend money on the everyday iron-on, I ended up purchasing this. And the only difference with this, it just has a thicker backing, so that way you don't actually need a mat to be able to cut it. So I'm just hoping that nothing really goes wrong, and that's the only difference that I experienced. So I'm gonna test this out. So I'm gonna have to select everyday iron-on. And then see, it also warns you as well, make sure that the mirror is on and iron-on material is faced shiny side down. Okay, perfect. So it does give you a warning about that as well, and we'll get into the whole loading process. I'll show you how I'm able to do that. I'm gonna do a default pressure as that's standard. And then just for loading my mat, I'm gonna be using this light grip mat. So I just have my little protective sheet still on there. And then I'm gonna be using the hot pink iron-on. So it's just this little thing. What? Okay, so these colors are so vibrant. I love it. So these were the 3 sheets that came in there, and this is the one that I'm gonna be using. So from our design, it let us know that we're gonna need about 13, and this is like actually perfect, because if you look at this, that goes a little bit, spans a little bit more than 13 centimeters, or yep. And then we'll take it down to about 6. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut that off. Okay, so that's the shiny side of the vinyl, and that would be just the iron-on portion here at the back. So for placing it, I'm gonna be placing that right here. And forgive me if my mat is a little dirty, but it's kind of hard to keep this thing clean. But I'll definitely show you how I clean my mats in another video. So there we have it all on. Okay, so now that we're over here, I'm just gonna push this right here to feed it in. And then you can already see that my light to feed it in is blinking. So, and it really doesn't matter how you insert, what way you insert it, it's always gonna find the proper spot for you. So I'm gonna press to feed it in with a little bit of light pressure. There you go. I pushed it in. So now that I've pushed it in, I'm gonna now go ahead and press the C for it to start cutting. Okay, so now my project is done. Unload it. Okay, so let's get to weeding. Okay, so once you have your design all weeded and everything, and I'll show you that once I flip that around. So the next thing you want to do is to find out your temperature for your project. So because I'm going to be using an iron, I want to get closest to the temperature of the heat press as possible, or just make sure all my information is correct as, or closest to this information as possible. So what I did was I just went on Google and I selected Cricut iron-on temperature, and then the first one I just selected Cricut heat guide. And then once you do that, then it's gonna bring you to the heat guide page. I'm just gonna leave it on the Cricut Easy Press 2. I'm gonna be using an iron anyways. And then your next step is select your material. So we have a smart iron on. And then once you select that, then you select what you're going to be putting it onto, and I'm putting it on 100% cotton. So once you select that option, then it says if you're going to be using an easy press mat or a towel. It's a hat. I don't know how I'm going to position this to be able to do it, so let's just say a towel for now, and then you select apply. Once you do that, then it tells you to preheat for 5 seconds to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you're going to hold that for 30 seconds, press lightly, and then you're going to flip, press for 15 seconds, slowly remove the liner when it is cool to touch. So for the smart iron-on, it's when you peel it off once the project is cool. Okay, so we are gonna get into it. So it just gives you some care instructions as well as application, prep, supplies, that kind of stuff. But I think I should have this part covered. So let's go. Okay, so peeling my project off. Ooh, that color is not so vibrant. I think it's gonna look awesome. Okay, so for the hat, I want it to be positioned like directly on this side. I don't even know how I'm gonna position that because the hat curves. Oh, maybe I'll use, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my mannequin head. Okay, so now that I have that on, I did turn my little iron on. The little steam, I made sure that was off. You don't want any moisture getting into your project, so make sure I didn't even put any water in there, so there's no way any steam can be there. So that's number one that you want to make sure. I did turn it all the way up to the max, or a little bit just past the max, or a little bit close to the max, as I don't know what 350 Fahrenheit is on this thing. So this is gonna be like a legit trial and error. So with my little trusty ruler, I'm gonna just bend that here just to try to get in the middle. So 15 is right there, so it's about there. And okay guys, I am so nervous. Why am I so nervous? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well. I don't think putting it on like this is gonna be, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, guys. I realized this setup was not gonna work and I had to go back to the drawing board. Okay, so what I did was I stuffed it with like 2 little towels, and I'm gonna just try and do that. So the first thing you wanna do is just heat up the surface. So you're just heating that up, make sure there's no moisture in the fabric or anything like that, making sure everything's smooth so that way it can adhere properly. So we got that nice and smooth. Okay, and I just smooth out where I just put my little marker to know where I'm at. I'm gonna go over it again just to make sure I'm doing it evenly, because y'all, I am nervous. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna let that cool, and then we're gonna slowly just peel it off, and I'm not gonna try to go over the back of it, because then I'm gonna have to crinkle it the other way to try to get underneath it. Maybe a shirt would have been something that I should have done for my first project, but anyways, we're gonna let that cool. Okay, so I waited a few minutes. It's now cool to the touch, so we're gonna try to remove it, and I'm just gonna go from the corner. So I'm gonna just turn it sideways here, and then just slowly lift it. If you see like any of the corners are still, or any part of it is still stuck to it, you can always just go back. Yes. So there you have it, guys. My first iron-on project. Okay, so there you have it, guys. My little DIY iron-on bucket hat. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it, even though I was totally shook that this hat was not going to turn out. But I'll be promoting myself all summer, so if you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and of course make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys. Come on. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like, leave a comment down below, let me know if you like this little DIY project. Also, leave some comments down below and let me know what video you think I should do next, and I will definitely see if that's something that I'm able to tackle or I'm able to make. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.